T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff. Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
That's right. Happy New Year from the Sport Weasels. 2020. Give us 20 minutes and you'll just be that much older. That's all we have to say about that. So, this episode, College Football Championship is finally here as soon as we get the Lending Tree Bowl out of the way. What was that about? It's playoff time. The NFL at its best. The wild card round is in the books. Who do we like now? So, gentlemen, this is our lightning round episode. We'll take a few minutes per topic. When you hear the bell, we're moving on. So, ready, set, go. Wild card, winners and losers. What do you say?
New England, I must say I'm happy about that. And it's designed by Robert Kraft, I do believe, because...
What do you mean by that?
You only have the absolute best coach in NFL history, and you do not listen to him, and you keep Brady and get rid of Garoppolo and Brissett. You got what you deserve.
The cupboard is bare?
Well, I mean, I think Brady's still a top 10, maybe top 15 quarterback, honestly, and they had nobody around him. I give him all that. But it's just like, it's time. Get off the stage. We don't want to see you anymore. No more solos, altos, whatever. Maybe an Altoid.
Just going off the New England game, Titans had just a great game plan for the most part. I mean, they rested Derrick Henry in week 16, and you looked at what he did week 17, and then the wild card playoffs. Like, man, that 1 week made a huge difference. I mean, I think he's ran for close to 400 yards in just the last 2 weeks. And on your point, Brady. I agree with you. I don't think Brady's done, but it's just going to keep deteriorating. And obviously they can improve things around him, but he, for so long, was so good in the pocket. And it's not that he doesn't still have the mind to do it. I just don't think he has the ability physically to keep moving in the pocket. His arm's still there. I believe, maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just think he's lost that little bit of mobility that made him special, maneuvering in, avoiding the pass rush.
And it was poetic justice for Vrabel. They unceremoniously dumped him after he had a decent Super Bowl in which they won a championship. Plus, he got to pull on the hoodie, hoodie pulled on the
delay of games.
Oh, I love that. So
that's amazing how he did that.
Speaking of quarterbacks that probably also should, I know we had a great year this year, but I still think they should pull the trigger, move on. I think you kind of watched what Drew Brees did in the Saints-Vikings game.
He looked tired, didn't he?
He looked scared.
Again, he's had a great career. I'm not saying he's done, but, I mean, you look at the way New Orleans is built. You look at how Bridgewater played in those 4 or 5 games. I'm not even going to say Bridgewater is the guy for the next 10 years or whatever.
Taysom Hill's the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to remember, Taysom Hill is actually older than Bridgewater. So...
It doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
He's bigger, he's stronger, he's crazy.
He scored all the points and made all the plays.
But, I mean, to be fair, we're kind of joking about it, but, like, when he was on the field, like, Vikings were like, what do we do against this guy? Where Drew Brees are like...
X-Factor.
Yeah, where the Drew Brees are like, all right, we're just going to, bring pressure inside and, like... Crush him.
Yeah.
So, and like you all said, he played scared to an extent. I'm just happy for Kirk Cousins because I just think, the narrative about him not being clutch, at least, I'm not going to say it wipes it away, but at least kind of knocks it away a little bit.
He had 2 good passes and he won 1 game. Come on.
Hey, he got... I can't even respond to that. I think he did a good job.
And again, as the counterpoint to like we're talking about the other two games, the teams that won is because their quarterbacks still are in the prime or not even hitting their peak yet in Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. Their ability to be able to, obviously, clearly with Deshaun, his athleticism to be able to take those two hits, then dump it off to Twan Jones, and then for to kick the field goal in overtime. That's purely athleticism. And then Russell Wilson, you look at how many guys are essentially in the infirmary around him. He just still like generates, the ability to run, and because they have to bite on him, it opens up passes DK Metcalf over the top. So.
And Deshaun Watson, that's total confidence. You could see it in the man's eyes. He was like, "Give me the ball. We're going to go do this," and he did it. Russell is a fine player. There's something about, he doesn't click for me. So, sorry, Russell, maybe grow a mustache.
Okay, ready to move on?
Yeah.
This weekend's game, Seattle at Green Bay, Minnesota at San Francisco, Houston at Kansas City, Tennessee at Baltimore. Wow, there are some sleepers in there, I think. Tennessee's a tough team with Henry.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just don't
Watson's a wild card with Houston.
I just don't think they have enough firepower. I think there'll be points scored in that game. I just don't think they have enough total firepower.
Houston did beat KC earlier this year, and the big X factor for Houston always, even though they won without him last week, when Fuller is healthy and if he can play through a full game, they're a completely different team because he opens up so much space just based purely on his speed. It opens up Kenny Stills, opening up DeAndre Hopkins for those short and intermediate routes. So if he's healthy, they have a chance to win against KC, and they should feel that way. They beat them earlier this year. Titans, obviously, they're a well-coached team, and obviously they have some good players. I think the Ravens still roll in that one. The Vikings, they play the 49ers. Again, kind of like the main thing about the Vikings, I can see them upsetting because the one thing from this week you saw, like, Thielen was not healthy pretty much all this year. And when Thielen's healthy, they're a different team. And also, Dalvin Cook down the stretch wasn't healthy, and he got a few weeks rest, and he was healthy, and they're a different team. So I'm not saying the 49ers shouldn't. Like, they can be upset. And then the last game, Green Bay versus Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Again, I'm not going to doubt Russell Wilson. Like,
No.
On the frozen tundra.
I don't think it matters. Like, he's beaten Packers so many times
Are
before.
the Packers fool's gold or what?
Well, he just doesn't have anybody. I mean, who does he have?
Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, running back. That's pretty much it. I mean, you got the corpse of Jimmy Graham out there.
The corpse.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a corpus.
and again, I don't think they're fool's gold, but I think the problem with Green Bay is I think they are a good team. I just think if you look at every game, even though they won 13, I believe, they kept teams in, and Seahawks are a team you do not want to keep in because they will punch you.
New NFL coaches, Mike McCarthy,
To the Cowboys, yes.
Now, here's a guy who had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks and won one championship, and at the end there, I mean, even children playing out in the backyard would say, "Oh, it's McCarthy. He's going to run. He's going to run to the right." It was so predictable. It was just sad.
Well,
but I think nobody could. I'm happy for this.
I am too.
I don't think it's a bad hire. I'm not going to say it's a great hire because, to be fair to your all's points, obviously Brett Favre, while he was kind of in the twilight of his career, he still had good years afterwards. He had a good year somewhat with the Jets before he got injured, and then obviously he had a great year with the first year with the Minnesota Vikings, the tail end. So he wasn't done, but he was past his prime. Aaron Rodgers was probably the best quarterback, of his. So, like, it does hurt. But still, like, he helped develop Aaron Rodgers to an extent. I do give him credit for that. Obviously, the offense was successful, and obviously a lot of it was Rodgers, but it wasn't all on Rodgers. It did get stale. I'm not disagreeing with that. He took a year off to study the league, build up his coaching staff. And the one thing I will give him is the team never quit on him. I will say, though, the funny thing is you fire Jason Garrett, a guy who overstayed his long-tenured welcome with the team. They got tired of him.
Yep.
And you hire Mike McCarthy, a guy who stayed too long, and the fan base and the building got tired of him. So it is a very interesting hire. I'll just put it that way.
Well, the fit for me out of this batch is Rivera at the Redskins.
Except for that wacky owner, though, Schneider.
Yeah, but Rivera is one of those nuts and bolts kind of guys. He reminds me of
Riverboat
Orgeron, a little bit. They're good for quotes, and I mean, Rivera took a lot of hits at Chicago, so that head is sort of
full of nuts and bolts.
Kind of.
Going off, I agree with you. Like, he's probably the best hire currently, just because Rivera. Like, you look at that defense in terms of building blocks. They have Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan, and they'll probably draft the second pick overall, Chase Young. That is just your nucleus to build a defense. I mean, they're going to terrorize people. Obviously, just because I don't know how good their offense will be, they'll probably best finish at 500, but still, they'll be in the mix of the NFC East. I don't know really if they'll go to the playoffs next year, but they'll be building to that.
I mean, you only need to win 8 games in that division anyway. 9 maybe.
Philadelphia only won what? 6?
6.5.
And I know it was out of nowhere, and obviously it looked like he was going to go to the Giants. I think the Matt Rule hire is a good hire, just because
7 years.
I know it's a lot, but I'm just saying, you look at what he did at Temple. He built them back from nothing. He built Baylor back from nothing. I know college is different than the NFL, but I think you look at that. Obviously, he is a good team builder. He knows how to build a nucleus and then expand off of that. So I think it is a good hire. The one I'm not going to badmouth the guy because, again, I honestly don't know anything about him. The Joe Judge hire, it just seems like it was completely out of left field.
I thought he played right field for the Yankees. Well, that's Aaron Judge.
Here come the Judge.
Judge Judy.
I'm not saying it's a bad hire.
Who are you, Joe Judge?
Yeah, again, it's a who are. But I just think the timing is weird because obviously they were so tied to Matt Rule. And earlier in the day, Matt Rule goes to Carolina, and then they pick Joe Judge. It's like, well, we didn't get the guy we want, so we'll just pull the triggers. Like, it's between you and the Browns at this point. Just wait at this point.
Well, doesn't it feel like the team with all the marbles, the Giants, and the biggest market in the country gets the last pick of the coaches?
I think it says a lot about Dave Gettleman that obviously there's something about him that I think a lot of coaches don't want to
poison.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. See, I had just a thought that Josh Daniel would go to the Giants. I thought that's a good fit. He's got a new quarterback. He can train him in the way he wants him. I don't know. I heard Josh Daniel, Cleveland. Why would you go there?
Drinking water's good.
Okay. Cuyahoga River.
I will just say this. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent on the Cleveland. But again, kind of like with the Giants situation, possibly with Gettleman, I more so look at the ownership with Cleveland, and based on the ownership of Cleveland, Josh McDaniels, this is a second bite of the apple. You don't know if you're going to get a third one. I would just stay with New England for another year, and I think it'll come back around for you. I say stay away.
Okay. Tom Brady, back, gone, what's going on?
I think he'll play again. I don't know that he'll play in New England. I think that he could sell some tickets. I think he could be a Charger quarterback if indeed Rivers is going to step away.
Yeah, I mean he is a California guy, so like that does make sense. I think at the end of the day, if he does come back, he comes back to New England. I think they have to eat a lot of money even if he does go somewhere else. So they might be kind of pressured just to bring him back for one more year.
Plus, what else are they going to do? Brian Hoyer?
Well, I mean, they have Stidham. I'm not saying Stidham can't have a miraculous jump from
Q3
the rookie year to second year, but I don't know. I think they'll spend some money on skill position players. Obviously, they'll try to draft some skill position players. Like that was their main thing that killed them this year. Obviously Brady was a factor, and I think it was more the people around him. But
and let Frank and Tom run around in the backfield as little as he can and get rid of the ball.
And also, I just think Robert Kraft's like, oh, Tommy, I can't lose Tommy.
Yeah. See, I think Brady at this point reminds me, you seen those dogs where their back legs stop working and they put wheels on them? That's what they need to do with Brady. Need to get him a Segway. Make it legal for Brady to
have training wheels.
Yeah.
All right, next topic. Sam Weish died, and he was credited with creating the no-huddle offense. What do you guys make of that? That's quite an accomplishment in a career.
I mean, he did some really good things in Cincinnati.